Hey guys, it's 681 Shadow. Welcome to my Bungo Stray Dogs episode 24 review. Now, if you guys have not seen the episode yet, and definitely watch it if you guys have been watching the series thus far, because this is the finale episode. So make sure to go watch that if you have not already. It's definitely worthwhile, and I'll go into that in just a second. But um, so if you don't want to be spoiled, go stop the video, go watch the episode. But otherwise, we will start the review here. So this was quite the finale to the entire war with the guild. So thankfully, the episode started right where it left off with Atsushi and Akutagawa facing off against Fitz, and it was really cool to see not only them playing like the opening music because that's something that animes do usually. Like when there's a really epic fight scene, they play the opening music. Like for example, in like earlier in Bungo Stray Dogs, they had when Odasaku was fighting Jide, they were playing the opening music there. And then like another example, for those of you who watch Dragon Ball Super, when Goku was fighting Hit in the tournament, they played the music when at one point in their fight. So it was all really hype, and also we saw a little combination of of their abilities, and like them, and like, Akutagawa mainly helping Atsushi to finally take down Fitz. So really the first of the two was just Akutagawa just helping Atsushi because Atsushi got like blown back by Fitz and got blown off the ship, and so Akutagawa used Rashomon to make like a path for him, that kind of thing. So he ran back, and then Akutagawa wrapped Atsushi's tiger arm in Rashomon to make it like super powerful, and that made Fitz use like all of what he had left in his bank account, judging as what we saw from the previous episode on his ability that he gets physical strength equal to the amount of money he spent. So he has to spend everything. He has to try to spend everything to fight Atsushi, but Atsushi ends up winning, and it kind of looks like Fitz was still standing after that, but he just falls off the ship and loses all that physical strength he got. So judging by that, Fitz is dead. I mean, I haven't read the manga yet, and because I of course I don't know what's to come, but even though I don't know what's to come, we could safely assure that Fitz is dead because he fell off a ship that's like way in the air. And so it looked all good that like Atsushi and Akutagawa were winning. That they won the battle, and they were going to stop the Moby Dick from falling. But someone from outside breached into the Moby Dick, and it started to descend again. And to stop, they couldn't stop it from inside the Moby Dick because there had been a foreign presence that was controlling the Moby Dick to make it fall. Then what ended up happening while they're in the terminal to when they're in the terminal to stop the try to stop the Moby Dick, Kyoka from the drone that she's in, she gets into like the she gets like communication with the Moby Dick and says that she's gonna sacrifice herself and fly the drone into the Moby Dick because she was able to like get up and stuff and get to like that controls, but she wasn't able to. But she's chained down and isn't able to escape, which means that she's gonna have to sacrifice herself. And she says she's doing it so that she can pass the entrance exam and become a member of the agency. And because she doesn't want to be bad with the mafia anymore. And then it was really interesting. It was really interesting because like the small vehicle, the pretty small drone that she was in, crashed into the huge Moby Dick, which set it off course. And instead of landing in the city, it just landed in water, which of course basically means Kyoka saved the day. But and everyone thought she died in vain. However, it's revealed that the president of the Armed Detective Agency, his ability, which is called All Men Are Created Equal, makes it so that all of his subordinates, which basically means everyone who's in the agency, has full control over their abilities. Like, for example, how, like, randomly, after Atsushi joined the agency, he was able to use his tiger powers at will, like, whenever he wanted, like, wherever on his body and things like that. So, the same was able to go for Kyouka, where she was able to control Demon Snow now because because like right before the impact she had successfully like passed the test, which gave her control of Demon Snow, so she was able to use Demon Snow's blade um, to cut the ankle bracelet that was keeping her there, and she was able to escape. And turns out Dazai has some crazy planning skills. Because him and Rampo had like he also she thought back to him and Rampo when they were planning, and they were thinking like where they were gonna end, where everything was gonna end with the entire situation. So they actually planned for having Kyoka use the drone to crash into the Moby Dick, and then her being able to use her to control her powers. But then afterwards, it's a pretty it's a pretty lighter mood afterwards. But before, because they have like a party and everything for Kyoka, but before that, the really the last kind of dark thing is that in this episode. Well, first off, we see Ongo trying to have Herman help him so that they won't have to arrest every single guild member, so that they so that he could have so they could have the information. And Ongo reveals that Herman was the leader of the guild, um, 2 generations prior to this one, which is pretty crazy, if I might add. But then the other thing is that you see Louisa, John, Mark Twain, and then eventually Lovecraft. They're just like, what are we gonna do next? So Mark Twain is gonna go back. It's just gonna go back home and write and continue to work on his autobiography. Then Louisa is gonna try to look for Fitz, but you can. I'm pretty sure Fitz is dead because he fell off the ship that was like way in the air. And if he's alive, that's a miracle in itself. But and then Steinbeck is said he's gonna try to calm the insurgencies in the guild, which leads me to the conclusion, even though I still am anime only, which leads me to the conclusion that he may be trying to take power in the guild and become the next guild leader. And then Lovecraft shows up, and Lovecraft's just gonna. Lovecraft's just like, I'm gonna peace out. This man jumps into the water, and he's just like, I'm asleep, and jumps into the water. That was actually hilarious. It was actually hilarious that this man just jumped into the water. But but then afterward, but then everything gets lighter. They have a party for Kyoka joining the agency with like a bunch of food and drinks, all that kind of stuff. And there's a funny scene where Kyoka was there's a funny scene when Kyoka was what is it? Wait, was it Kyoka? I just forgot who I was talking about. But anyways, a really interesting thing is that Rampo invited Edgar Allan Poe to the agency on the day of the party for whatever reason, and, it's really funny because like Edgar Allan Poe what is it? Yeah, Edgar Allan Poe is part of the guild, but it really feels like he doesn't give a shit about the guild. So, and this just proves it because he just walks into the agency. He is a bit shy, of course, but you know, I think he's not really at fault because he didn't have the same intentions as the guild. But then we turn to the Port Mafia, the 3 top executives, the 3 top people in the Port Mafia, all sharing I would think it's some wine. It's Mori, Koyo, and Chuya, and they're mainly talking about Okutagawa and how he doesn't need to be punished because even though he goes off alone and causes a lot of destruction, he does end up being successful in achieving what the mafia wants. But then they go on another thing how why Koyo never tried to escape from the agency when they captured her, but she reveals that Dazai knew how everything would play out because, as we saw from this episode and the last episode, Dazai is like master strategist. And of course, Chuya's really pissed at Dazai, as always. But then, the cliffhanger of the episode, and before I talk about the cliffhanger, I just want to say that, because they normally play like, the opening and the ending without like the regular OP and ED, but I'm sorry, like I flipped my shit when I saw when I was watching it and I heard the season 1 ED come on, cuz it just brings back all those feels from the season 1 ED. And season 2 one is good, but it doesn't I feel like it doesn't capture like the emotions as much. But the episode really ends with it really ends with Dazai talking to the main leader of the Black Lizard of the Port Mafia, Hirotsu, and how Hirotsu was able to help him by basically. So I believe how they did it was that like Dazai gave all the info about the Moby Dick crashing into the city to Hirotsu, and then Hirotsu gave it to Higuchi so Akutagawa could know, and then Akutagawa would go to the ship, and then he would team up with Atsushi. And so Atsushi and Akutagawa is something that Dazai says they really need, something that is much stronger than what Double Black was. And for those of you who may be unsure of that because they haven't really like said it straight out until now, Double Black is the teamwork between Dazai and Chuya that we saw in episode 21, I believe. But but Dazai alludes to a more vicious disaster than the guild ever was, and then it shows the same guy who took control of the Moby Dick and tried to make it fall down even though it got canceled. And he's apparently recruiting a bunch of he what was it? Oh, I don't know. I lost my train of thought, but he he was basically um he's basically trying to cause trouble in the guild so he can recruit some of the strongest. And it turns out he recruited Nathaniel Hawthorne. So Hawthorne's no longer part of the guild. He's a part of this guy's team, and all Nathaniel really wants is for Margaret to come back into consciousness. And it turned out that the guy behind it all was Fyodor, and his ability is called Crime and Punishment. But that's really all we know about him. And he's just, but it really seems like it's gonna be a really good ending. I mean, not really good ending, really good like future for Bungo Stray Dogs, and then that's basically the end of the episode. It shows like Akutagawa and Atsushi facing off at the end of the episode. But that's really it for the episode. But it was really good, and I'm really sad to see this anime go. However, I will be catching up on the manga, and I won't do reviews for every manga chapter until I catch up. So I believe there's 47 chapters right now, while 48 is being translated because it's monthly. So I'll catch up on those on my own time and then review them all together, like I did, kind of like how I did for Keijo when I caught up on Keijo like halfway through the anime season. But this was a great season of Bungo Stray Dogs. I'm not gonna lie, it was absolutely brilliant. So let me know what you thought of this episode, not only this episode but also the entire series that we have in the anime so far. Down in the comment section below, I like to read those, and let me know if you're going to read along with the manga as well because I'm definitely excited to read forward in that. Now, um, for those of you who are in my anime Discord server, and if you want to join that, the link will be in the description down below, where we can discuss all different types of animes. We do have a Bungo Stray Dogs chat as of recently, which is really awesome. we won't be talking about the manga in there because we're gonna keep everything there anime only. But if you're gonna if you want to like add me on Discord and we can talk about it in like personal messages or whatever, then we certainly can, and all that kind of fun stuff. So, anyways, thank you all for watching. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Probably in a couple days, I will be having a full anime review for Bungo Stray Dogs. And I do apologize for this review being long. It's the finale. There's a lot to talk about. So, I will see you all next time.